Welcome to Impact Learning Tutorials, and this is a video about the principles of training. So in this video we're going to aim to understand the principles of training and how these can be applied when designing a fitness program. So what are the principles of training? The principles of training stand for specificity, overload, progression and reversibility. So in the coming parts of the video you're going to see what each of these parts mean in a little bit more detail. So S for specificity. This is the principle that training should be specific to the sport. So this applies to both the muscle movement and also the physiological characteristics. So an example is that a sprinter would work on their anaerobic energy system whilst also working on the technical aspects related to sprinting. O for overload. This principle demonstrates that we should work our body harder than normal in order to see improvements. This then allows adaptations in the body to take place due to the body reacting to the extra stress being placed on it. And it's important that overload is monitored, as it should be a gradual progression, because if we progress it too quickly, this will result in an injury. In the table below, you can see an example of how overload can be used. So in week 1, the weight was 80 kilograms on the leg press. In weeks 2 and 3, the weight was 85 kilograms. And then in week 4, we went for a further overload, progressing the weight to 90 kilograms. So P for progression. This links very closely to what we've previously spoke about with overload, and this shows that training should become progressively more difficult to allow for improvements. So an example of this will be adding more exercises than usual into a training program. So if we're doing bicep curls and tricep dips, we may then lift in some adductions to further our development of the upper body. R for reversibility. So this is the stage at which training or performance can decrease. So an example of this is when training stops, an athlete's VO2 max would then start to decrease because they're no longer working that cardiovascular system. Further examples of when reversibility can occur is injury, the end of the competitive season, or a loss of motivation and having that time to exercise would result in a decrease in fitness. We hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe to keep up to date with our latest tutorials.